This is To the Rescue Authentic Networking, and I'm Jennifer Johnson, Executive Director of TTR Networking and Relationship Marketing Coach. This show is all about authentic business networking know how, relationship building, and the success strategies used by our members to grow their businesses and to give back to local nonprofits. Be sure to stay up to date. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell to get the notifications. Oh, yeah, and please visit our website, ttrnetworking.com. We are TTR Networking. We're industry exclusive networking groups. We meet weekly to share easy relationship marketing tools, fun, entertaining, and informative events and fundraising. We are so glad you're here. Now on with the show.
Welcome to the Rescue Authentic Networking. I'm Nicole Williams with my co-host Jennifer Johnson and Dawn Evans Casey. Jennifer, how's it going?
You know what? The white elephant in the room is that the right what they say? The pandemic is all over the place, and that's where things are good because a lot of the things that I do, we've just moved everything online. So I'm not, thank God for technology. I mean, literally, thank you, God, for technology so that we can stay connected. Um, but this pandemic has changed so much of what we do. It's very scary, and we are praying for everyone that's out there. I want to make this a regular part of our. We've now, what is this? I think this is our fifth episode. We're kind of plugging through along. But the whole thing for me has always been, and it's so hard, but the serenity prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. My mom used to share that with me when I was growing up because I am not very patient at all. And I always would spend a lot of time being very frustrated about things I couldn't change, and it was like, I mean, I think we all do that, but
A little, yeah.
anyway, and this year, instead of a word of the year, I actually have the serenity prayer on my, it pops up on my phone. It's serenity, courage, and wisdom pop up. Instead of one word, it's the whole, anyway. So I don't know. Was that what you were hoping for, Nicole? I mean, what's going on with you? You're probably,
It's scary times with the
yes.
pandemic. I mean, with the schools, my girls are in high school and they do the e-learning at home, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing how our school system has come together to help with the e-learning, and just they're still taking tests, they're still doing papers, they're still doing presenting. So it's just amazing what we can do with the technology and the pandemic. I just, like you, I just pray. I pray, and what can I do to help? It's just
We just all
scary.
keep praying. That's all we do. We just keep praying. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I did.
No, you're fine.
I did. Well, they need to check our website, right? So,
Yes, please check our TTR website. We're so glad that everyone's here. We're going to have all the websites in the show notes.
yes.
Dawn, hello, Dawn. Can you tell us
Hi.
from your
John. She's all in
How are
pink.
How are
you?
you? Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you all today. This is I I'm here at home, which for me, even as a travel agent, I'm used to being up and gone. So this has been an adjustment for me as well.
Yeah.
But I've been staying busy with my travel business, finding productive things to do around the house, and talking a lot to people. It's
Yeah.
important to me to stay connected. And as a leader of one of the TTR groups, we've transitioned to doing our group meetings now on the Zoom
Yeah.
calls. So
That's,
that staying connected really makes a difference.
it
And
is.
Yeah, I'm
And,
enjoying that.
and your group's called Collaborating Connections. I mean, how appropriate is that? Collaborating Connections. That's pretty cool. You know, and we have a guest. We're talking about, you know, our, yes, it's so exciting when we get to see, and you know, Sandra looks like she's out on a boat somewhere. We're all like, what are you doing? She's out on a boat. We're all stuck at home. She's not on a boat.
Nope.
Not stuck on a boat. This is Sandra Nardoni, and Sandra is actually a member of our North Side group, which we have these 12 groups around the Indianapolis area. But the idea is that we are industry exclusive, we meet weekly, but now we're not meeting weekly. And Sandra is a travel agent. And she actually, you know, we just like to throw it to you, Sandra. Thank you for joining us. Yay, we're so glad.
Thanks for asking me. I am
I
very
wanted to
excited
say
to be here.
we still meet. We still meet, just not in person.
Right,
Yes,
just
that's a
meeting
good
on
point.
Zoom, which is awesome. Zoom has been so gracious to open up their parameters for people during this time, which I think is so cool. I love seeing the way all of these businesses and corporations have just been so awesome about really giving back. And Zoom is one of those companies that has been giving back by they relaxed some of their parameters so that the free what do you call it, memberships or whatever, could meet with more than one person for longer than 40 minutes, which is awesome.
Oh, I didn't know.
So yeah, we've been we even had I go to a house church. I know that's a little bit weird, but we even met over Zoom for that because it's more than 10 people. So
Yeah.
anyway, my name is Sandra Nardoni,
Yeah.
and I am a veteran homeschooling mom who's also a travel advisor, and I love teaching other people how to start their own online travel businesses. I work from home, so I actually am used to being home, working from home, using technology to connect with people. So that's been really nice because I don't have a learning curve. My husband also works from home, so we have and we homeschool.
Yeah.
But one thing that we have found is that we're going a little stir crazy because we really don't stay at home very often. And so I actually have the opportunity to be a speaker at the virtual homeschool conference, which starts today, and it's free for everybody for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and so it's been really cool to talk to people because a lot of people have their kids home right now and aren't used to that. And there are so many tips and tricks you learn. I'm a teacher in a classroom, like that's what I used to do for a job. But then I've been homeschooling for 15 years. You learn a lot of tricks doing that. So that's been fun to connect with people on that homeschooling front, as well as talking to people about travel and starting a business and all that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here. Cool. You can take
Oh, okay. So, Sandra, our show is about being authentic, being real, being true, being yourself. Could you tell us what authentic means to you and your business or homeschooling or, anything you'd like to?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess when you think of the word authentic, you think of telling the truth. And so I feel like one of the reasons that you're able to connect with people so much during times like this, if you're an authentic person, is that level of trust that they build with you. And they know that they can trust that you're going to tell them the truth. So if I have a client that is going to be traveling, one of the things that I told clients early on was, when we didn't quite know what was going to happen and they were asking me, what should I do? Should I cancel? Should I, because most of my clients already had travel insurance. Should I make a claim or whatever? Just telling them, you might actually save money if you wait until there's actually a travel ban on that period of time. Because the travel suppliers are being so gracious with the refunds and with letting people change their dates without having any change fees. So the hassle for everyone is reduced, and they would probably save money by not making a claim because of the different rules about cancellation and all that kind of stuff. So, I think especially when you're dealing with people's vacations, they want to make sure that you are going to tell them what is going on. And so just trying to be that person that they can trust to tell them what's really going on. I'm not in it just to make money. I'm in it to help people. Actually, I love fun. Like, fun is high on my list. And so one of the reasons I did this is because I really enjoy researching travel and researching and what people like to do and matching them with the right thing that they're going to enjoy. And so that actually drives me far more than anything having to do with income. And so I feel like it's pretty easy for me to be like, oh, you're going to save way more money if you go over here than if you do this over here. Because I like seeing people smile and be happy, and that's just my personality. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Sure,
It does.
sure.
Cool. That's great, Sandra. And I happen to share a lot of that same enthusiasm for, helping people have a good time and get away and relax and enjoy and save money. With you being a home educator and working your business out of your home, how do you usually come across your customers, your clientele? How do you develop new business?
I actually, the team that I'm on, the team of agents that I'm on, the lady that leads it is sort of an expert in social media and online marketing. And so she has trained all of us about how to market and how to do pretty much everything on Facebook and Instagram and through Messenger, not in an annoying way at all, which is why I like her. She's super authentic. And she has taught us how to, I think a lot of people are authentic, but it is easy to come across as not being authentic when you aren't meeting people in person or you don't know them. And so when you're reaching out to somebody that you don't know, it's easy to seem like you're not authentic. And so she teaches us strategies about how to, I guess, how to put people first and how to build those relationships, but also just building your friends list and making sure that you are connecting with people in a lot of areas that have nothing to do with business. That's really the key, is to take a genuine interest in people's lives. And I do that anyway. I don't know if you guys know anything about personality, but I love personality stuff. And I'm an ENFP on the Myers-Briggs, and I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. And those personalities tend to be very people-oriented. And so I love people. I really cannot have too many friends in person or otherwise. And so, combined with her training, I do everything online pretty much, except for the TTR networking group, which actually has been a huge thing for my business and has been a new avenue that I've been making connections, and it's been really, really good. It's kind of like this whole new branch of experiences, and so that has been really, really cool. And it has really shown me how there's a lot of things you can do locally and in your community that are face-to-face that will grow your business in new and different ways.
I agree. I do a lot of the online social networking as well. I do like the friendly referrals. Certainly that makes a big difference for me in my business because I'm talking to individuals who really get to know me, who know my skill set, my background, who are very comfortable with me. And then when they're talking to somebody else who perhaps has mentioned travel, not only do they say, I know a person who does travel, but let me tell you about her because I meet with her on a weekly basis. And,
Yeah.
I've really gotten to know her, and she's really enthusiastic about this, and her strengths are in that. And I'm sure that she'll take care of you. And I think that relationship building that comes out of TTR is really a big key in marketing our services and reaching people, because you're helping them with their needs, but at the same time you are developing connections that you may not have otherwise had, and you're finding that you're connected to people in ways that you would have never imagined.
Right.
Right.
It does a
Like
lot
we
to,
found a connection, didn't we? That was so fun.
yeah, that was wild. That was
With,
wild.
I actually worked with one of Dawn's relatives back when I was like in my early 20s, and I am nowhere near my early 20s anymore. I'm nearly 50 years old, so that was a long time ago.
She's kind of old.
And that's what comes out of the authentic conversations. You really open yourself up. You're sharing things that you like, or where you've been and what you've done, and next thing you know, wow, 6 degrees of separation. Boom.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. So her brother-in-law gave me and my husband our first car.
Okay, I knew there was some kind of weird connection there. That is kind of weird. You guys couldn't make that one up. But
no, we were so poor, and I worked at the time. I worked with his wife, and she was like, "Whoa, you guys need a car," and they had a car that they weren't using, and they gave it to us.
Well, that is sweet. That's sweet.
So you have a good family.
Hey.
Well, Dawn, you have.
I liked you before that, but.
John, you guys have more to tell us about the travel stuff, though. What's this pandemic doing to this,
wow.
ladies?
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump on top of it.
No problem. Sandra alluded to there are lots of things happening right now where you have, governors have decided in certain states, hey, there's a stay at home and stay safe. So people who have had scheduled travel and planned travel, are really considering, is this emergency? Is this a must travel situation for me? Or do I cancel or change my plans? And if I decide to do that, am I making a claim on my travel insurance? Am I going to get my money back? Do I just lose out and stay safely at home? What do I do? And that may oftentimes be the difference of the individual who has managed their travel arrangements on their own online, and the individual who has worked with a certified travel agent. And I want to say, and I'm sure that Sandra will agree with me, that when you're working with a professional who knows the ins and outs, who knows the vendors in the industry, who's staying on top of everything, even as it rapidly changes, that there is more of a comfort, a peace of mind in that whatever change you come upon, that will get worked out.
Yeah,
so,
it's the difference between making one phone call to your travel advisor or staying on hold multiple times, and for multiple hours, and possibly having multiple phone calls to try to get your money back with no guarantees. And there's not necessarily a guarantee just because you use a travel advisor, but you have a much greater chance of having a good experience and getting your money back, or being able to switch without change fees if you use a professional.
Exactly.
So, good point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the focus right now is on, safety and cleanliness. So if you must travel, the questions out there that I've been fielding are, well, how do I know that I'm safe with this travel vendor in this location? If I'm going out of the country, will I be able to get back? And there's all of those questions are completely understandable, and a certified travel advisor is happy to walk you through it to understand. A lot of the vendors, whether they're airlines or cruise lines or hotel chains, have put out statements and are updating them as we go through this
Yeah.
process.
We get
This is
emails
what
all the time, right?
Yes, yes. This is what we're doing now, and we're concerned for our clients and for the public. And these are our strategies at our location to address COVID-19. So we're reading those all the time and then relaying that information to clients to give them some peace of mind and comfort if they must travel, and to help them make their decisions on what
Right.
to do next. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything
and I
else you
think
want to add about that, Sandra?
Well, I think the other thing to add is that when you are, when you're considering a travel advisor, a lot of people have a misconception that it's more expensive to go with a travel advisor. And it's, I mean, I guess there probably are travel advisors out there that charge astronomical fees, but I don't think we're part of those people, are we, Dawn? No. So just so that you know, you're not going to be paying more money just because you're using a travel advisor. And if for some reason there needs to be an extra fee, which is very seldom, but if there were because of something that is odd, we would definitely let you know about that. And usually you're still going to save money over doing it yourself, because you're not going to lose out in situations like this. It's more value for your money.
Most definitely. I agree. During this time of pandemic, it's important, if you must travel, to build some level of flexibility into your schedule, because things are changing all the time. Airlines are changing the frequency of their flight schedules. Certainly they don't want to be flying a practically empty plane. So they've cut their schedule back, and a business traveler who's used to being able to fly at certain times may have to look closer to what's available now, and that may be different. Connections might be changing. You want to make sure to get to the airport in plenty of time, because there are crowds through the security lines. Security is of utmost importance right now in those airports. So if you're that individual that was just skating through at the last minute to check bags and jump on that plane, recognize that now you really have to get to the airport in plenty of time. And then be prepared for a delay or a cancellation, and know your rights as a traveler, what you're entitled to, depending on the airline, the vendor that you're using, how much time you might be delayed, what you're entitled to if they'll put you up in a hotel and provide you with a meal or something of that nature. So those are important questions to ask your travel advisor. What are my options if?
And travel insurance, I've always said you should get travel insurance. Most people blow it off, and then they're so frustrated when something happens and they can't get their money back. But now more than ever, travel insurance is very important. It does a lot of things for you, just in addition to refunding your money in case you can't go for some reason. There are a lot of reasons to get travel insurance, things like your bags being delayed, things like, for instance, if in this situation, in this scenario, you had been overseas when they put the ban on travel, and you had to go travel from country to country in order to get back to the U.S. I know the U.S. was letting their citizens come back, but some of the other countries were not letting people travel between countries, and maybe your connecting flight had to do that. Your travel insurance, if you got good travel insurance, would possibly pay for you to get out of that situation somehow. Either they might pay for you to be in a hotel for a couple of days until you could work it out or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons why travel insurance is important. Besides just giving you your money back if you can't travel. In-travel services are, you don't realize what you need until you're in that situation sometimes. But, just getting back to the United States, if you have a medical emergency, can be a minimum of $100,000. It's called repatriation. And if you've got a good travel insurance policy, then it's going to pay for repatriation. And you're not going to be paying back, hundreds of thousands of dollars just because you had a medical emergency while you were on vacation and you were overseas. So these are all important things to always think about when you travel. But I think that this has brought it more to mind, and it's made people a little bit more aware.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good. Great points.
All travel insurances are not alike as well. So be sure to communicate what it is, what risks you are interested in being covered for. The travel insurance that may be offered by the airline at the time of a ticket purchase may not be or include all of the coverage types that you're interested in. So be sure to talk about that to a professional. They are not all alike.
Oh, they're not. In fact, the cruise lines offer travel insurance, and for the now river cruise lines, I find mostly their policies are excellent. But the ocean cruise lines, I'm not dissing them or anything, but their policies just don't cover a lot of things that you would need. Like for instance, if you were off the ship and had a medical emergency in country while you're on an excursion, there's a lot of things that those policies don't cover. And people think they're covered because they just add it onto the end of their, their cruise or whatever. But I very seldom recommend that unless somebody's just digging their heels in. But yeah, that is a huge point that people don't realize, is that they're not all the same, and that not even all the companies, the third-party companies, are the same. And it's not any more expensive to get a third-party policy than it is to go through the airline or the cruise line, which is another misconception that people have. So there's just a lot of things that people should know about travel insurance. And I guess I didn't necessarily mean to make it all about travel insurance, but really this is a great instructive moment in time to talk about it.
Yeah, talking about the future. Yeah.
Thank you.
Another thing that's resulting from the pandemic, as the travel industry attempts to rebound, there are going to be, reduced pricing on flights, on car rentals, on hotels, on resorts. And that's going to be enticing. And it's going to be up to the traveler to decide to weigh the benefits. It's one thing when you've had a natural disaster in one location, travelers can decide we'll travel somewhere else. But when you have a world pandemic going on, and it's like natural disaster all over, that's a serious consideration.
Right.
But at the same time, you've got some individuals, as long as there isn't a ban on the travel, there are individuals that are going to want to take advantage of those discounts and decide on, what's a affordable way to get there, what's reliable, so, make sure that you can get home, what's safe. So look forward to the travel industry wanting to rebound, come back, and offering some great incentives, price-wise and location-wise.
Yeah.
It's
kind of amazing how even now, like right now, some of the prices that are coming out, I'm like, oh my goodness, if you are in a good financial position, and you can travel maybe, in August or something, do it, because you're going to save a ton of money. And so, there's people that I have as clients that were planning to travel for spring break or for summer break. And they're calling me up and being like, hey, I saw the prices for this. What do you think? And I'm like, it's up to you. Buy insurance. But yeah, that's great. And that's the other reason why I feel like my other business, which is helping people get started with their own online travel businesses, has actually started to really boom, because people are smart enough to realize that this is not going to last forever. Travel is an $8 trillion per year industry, and it is always growing. And it's one of the largest industries in the world. And so this is a blip, as far as travel is concerned. So if you're looking for something to do on the side, it's a great opportunity right now. But just so you know, we have 3 minutes according to my clock.
Okay. So take it away, Dawn. What's the end of that? I think I'm glad we know a couple good travel agents. That's really making me feel good.
Sure. And even in the midst of the world pandemic, I still have that abundance mentality. As Sandra is saying, this is an $8 trillion industry. There's plenty of business out there for everybody. if you're interested in getting into the travel business, to take advantage of discounts yourself, to learn more of the ins and outs, to become familiar with vendors, to be able to be invited to some sites, to see it for yourself, experience it for yourself, so that you can sell it better, whether it's cruises or resorts or foreign lands. That opportunity is there. And if somebody's interested in residual income, or whether they want to do it full-time, part-time, in their spare time, surely both Sandra and I and others are here to help.
Good to know.
Overall, I want people to remain optimistic that yes, the travel industry will come back.
Yeah. Good.
There will be some changes, but we'll adapt to those changes. Simply like travel changed after 9/11, travel will change after COVID crisis, but it will be back, and people will enjoy themselves and get to see the world again.
Right.
Yeah.
Sandra, do you have any last thoughts on that?
Well, I think that was my timer, so my thoughts better be quick.
We're good.
But
we're
yeah,
good.
like I just agree with I agree with everything you said, and it's a really great time to jump in and think about, like, I mean, you've got time to do the training, you've got time to make the connections, and you should, if you have the time. Travel is an amazing industry to be in. It is so much fun. I can't even tell you how much fun it is getting to do the things that you get to do when you're a travel advisor. And so, we'd be happy to help you, if I can say that without stumbling on my words. And I hope everybody knows that, just keep in mind that nothing like this lasts forever. Right. And so, even as you think about your mental state and how you feel emotionally, it's kind of gray out, and it's sad that I'm not seeing my friends in person right now, but it's going to be over. I don't know how long, but it will end.
Yay, and then we'll be traveling. Yes.
Yes.
And then let's go to the Bahamas.
You guys are awesome. You made it's sunny in here, that's for sure. Nicole, we have to close this out. We're just
I know. This is just so good. Thank you, Dawn and Sandra, and it's just amazing. I have no idea about that travel insurance. I'm excited. Let's see. Contact. How do we find you, Sandra? And then Dawn.
I have two websites.
Okay.
My travel website is sandrasaystravel.com. Okay. And my other website, if you're interested in starting your own business, is travel2wealth.info, and it's the number 2.
Okay.
Travel2wealth.info.
Awesome.
Well, we will have it in the notes too.
Well, yes, we'll have it in the notes. And Dawn, do you want to tell us too?
Sure. Easiest way to contact me is spatravel911@gmail.com. Spa Travel, we're all about relaxed adventure and happy to help you in any way.
Yay. Well, you guys made me happy. Definitely. Much happier. Nicole, were we forgetting anything?
Let's see. Well, we're so excited about this authentic movement to the rescue. You can reach us at the TTR website. We'll have that in our show notes. We have, let's see. Oh, do you have a quote for us, Jennifer?
You know what? I think today I was looking at some quotes, and I think I would just like to leave it with the fact that these ladies have said some really great things and made us feel really good. And I would just say, you know what? I go back to the serenity prayer again, because there's some things we have complete control of. We can't control what's going on around us. We can control what and how we respond to it. And if you're spending time right now being all doldrum and everything, well, that's probably how you're going to feel and how everything's going to go. But we're going to come out of this. We're going to be on to a better thing. So I just go back to the serenity prayer and just remembering, these ladies thank you very much, ladies, for being with us. Sandra, and even though you're out on a boat, and I know you're not. Even though,
It's my corner of my bedroom office.
it's all right. You know, the big thing about we can be authentic, but you can also put a really nice picture behind you, and everybody thinks you're off on a boat. So that's it. It just looks like it, and I know that it isn't. But thank you, and Nicole. What do you want to? What's the end of this? How do we
close it out?
Yeah, close it.
Until next time, may all your days be filled with authenticity.
Yes, and safe travels, everyone. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. This was super fun.
Bye.
Thank you.